Before Laurence Juber became a Grammy-winning fingerstyle guitar legend, a top-tier producer, and one of the most respected musicians in the world, his entire life changed in one unbelievable moment. It all started in 1978. At the time, Juber was just another in-demand London session guitarist, quietly building a solid career behind the scenes, until fate handed him a jam session with Wings guitarist-bassist Denny Laine. What happened next would rewrite his destiny. Midway, through some casual blues and reggae jams, Paul and Linda McCartney suddenly joined in, and right after they finished playing, Paul turned to Juber and asked the question that froze time. "So, what are you doing for the next few years?" In that instant, Juber says, his whole life flashed before his eyes. He had worked his entire youth chasing the dream of being a studio musician. And now, Paul McCartney himself was offering him a gig. "Part of me thought, what am I giving up?" he later said. "But I also knew the universe was opening a new door. How could I say no?" That decision landed him a spot in Wings, where he played lead guitar on the 1979 album Back to the Egg. His fiery solo on Spin It On remains a fan favorite, proof of his electrifying energy and precision. Juber toured with Wings on their 19-date UK run that same year, with plans for a massive world tour in 1980. But everything changed overnight when Paul McCartney was arrested in Japan for marijuana possession. That moment effectively ended the band's touring plans, and became one of rock history's most infamous stories. Juber was right there beside Paul when it happened, literally standing next to him at customs. He remembers watching the officer lift a jacket from Paul's suitcase, only to find a bag of weed hidden underneath. Even after the arrest, Juber kept the faith, hoping the Japan shows would continue. Just like how reggae bands often manage to resume tours after similar incidents. But fate had other plans. Still, the spirit of Wings lived on. Juber contributed to tracks like Getting Closer, featuring him, Denny Laine, and Paul jamming together in perfect harmony. His Morricone-style solo on that song became another standout moment, the kind of performance that cements legends. Reflecting on those years, Juber admits it wasn't always easy. "It was scary," he said, "not because I hadn't played big shows before, but because I wasn't just a session guy anymore. Suddenly, I was in the spotlight." Through it all, Juber pushed his limits, experimenting with new sounds, running his guitar through a Mesa, Boogie, and a Roland rack, blending electric tones with synth effects, even using a vocoder for Good Night Tonight. And although Wings' touring days ended too soon, Juber's story didn't. That unexpected question from Paul McCartney, "What are you doing for the next few years?" launched one of the most remarkable musical journeys of the era.